We have our first midweek game coming up today, and it's going to be a tough one because it's going to be against the Portland Timbers, and they're going to be a tough team to play. Let's talk about all the details coming up right now. Stay tuned. Good morning, RSL Nation, and happy hump day. Our first midweek matchup in MLS this season. It's going to be a home game. RSL and the Timbers. I got the home kit on because we are going to be wearing that kit today. And we have a lot to talk about, especially with the last meeting that happened. It was very intense, very fun. Both teams had their fair share of battles and all that. And I'm going to be expecting quite the same over here, really. So sit back, subscribe if you're new, like this video, and let's get started with the preview. 6 goals in our last matchup on Hispanic Heritage Night at America First Field. We start goal number 1 being Dominic Marksuk. Good control on his feet. He's doing it again this year in 2025, and then he takes the tap in and boom, 1-0 to RSL right off the bat. What a goal. And now we head to our second one, being by Moonman Diego Luna. It was a bit of a mess up between the keeper and Anderson Julio. Ball spilled to Luna and it makes it 2-0. The goal was originally disallowed at first, but after a VAR review, the goal was ultimately given, so it was 2-0 to RSL. And then it got interesting. It all got shaped up in the second half, where Eric Miller takes a tap in from the corner kick to make it 2-1, and we have ourselves game on in minute 61 of the second half. What else could go wrong, or what else could come? A potential goal of the year candidate, Evander, who now plays for FC Cincinnati, had a fantastic first season with the Timbers before ultimately getting traded. And wow, what a beautiful free kick this was by Evander. Absolutely nothing Gavin Beavers could do about that. It was a beautiful goal. It didn't win goal of the year, unfortunately, but it was a well-taken free kick. Well-taken free kick. And then we had more action in the 88th minute. A fantastic build-up, starting with Brody, and then it results in the offense. And the ball lands onto the feet of our Portuguese Magnifico, Diogo Gonçalves, and boom, slots it home, 3-2, as I thought it was going to be over. I thought it was going to be over at that time. Thought RSL was going to have 3 points. Done. No. Nope. Because Cabecita, Jonathan Rodriguez, Cabecita had to head it in to spoil the party in Salt Lake. And the game finishes 3-3. Beautiful header by the former Cruz Azul and America player, Santos too. And Portland Timbers salvage a point on the road in the dying minutes. RSL had quite the battle, but ultimately couldn't hang on. The game finishes 3-3. And that was a good game. Despite it being a tie, and despite it with having playoff intentions and all that, what a battle that was. And I expect the same happening tonight for our midweek battle. That is our previous matchup between Real Salt Lake and the Portland Timbers. Going out to the side of me, the injury list pretty much remains the same. Philip Quinton is actually ruled out now with a hamstring injury. He won't be back until like June. Despite the injuries, I'm not going to say who always, we do have 2 players suspended for Wednesday night. Justin Glad is picked up a yellow card against FC Dallas. His 5th yellow of the season. He will now serve a suspension for yellow card accumulation. And then William Agata, our newest signing, gets a yellow card for a reckless foul, and then he gets a second for simulation, diving, embellishment, whatever you want to call it. So we're missing a handful of players tonight. And fortunately means Piol has to start, or Barea. I prefer Barea over Piol, but it ultimately decides what Maserati wants to start on Wednesday. So should be interesting. 2 players to watch for the Portland Timbers, and the stakes are freaking high at this point. First one is going to be Santi Moreno after he scored a fantastic bicycle kick goal, and that was a thing of beauty right there. A well taken bicycle kick. I don't know if that one goal a week or not, but a beautiful goal, and he's been dangerous for the offense as well. That's going to be a one for RSL's defense to, hey, keep an eye on. He will put up a fight, that's for sure. And then our second player that will Portland is going to be dangerous. RSL watch for El Pibe. Felipe Mora, former Pumas Cruz Azul player. He can score at any point and at any time. He'll be absolutely dangerous up top, and he will be a key player to keep an eye on. He will find the back of the net at some point. And those are our 2 players that we also need to keep an eye on. Portland, 2 players. Here are your 2 players that you need to keep an eye on from the Claret and Cobalt Real Salt Lake, obviously. Starting with Moonman. He cannot stop scoring, and we need more of that. He can punish any defense in MLS by either a tap-in or a volley or a wonderful goal like he did on Saturday against FC Dallas. And he is a bunch of surprises. He's full of surprises. You guys are going to have to keep an eye on him. And then it's going to be the same thing as Saturday's Matchday preview. But give me Javier Goso. Just love the way this guy plays. The dribbling, the passing, the crossing, everything in between. The shooting as well. He hasn't scored his first goal of the season yet. It'll come eventually. Just watch. Just watch. Western Conference standings. Portland in 3rd place. They're absolutely killing it in the West right now. They're going to be a tough one to play, this one for sure. Real Salt Lake in 11th as we speak. We did salvage our first draw of 2025 with that 1-1 draw against FC Dallas. And it's better than the loss, really, but we have a long way to go in order to go for a playoff spot. So we just got to keep pushing and grinding for it, and then we can hopefully get it. Score prediction time. And I did go, 2016, like 9 years ago, I did go watch Real Salt Lake play the Portland Timbers one time. The game finished 2-2, and that's how I think this game's going to end. 2-2, another draw for Real Salt Lake. Yeah, but both teams are freaking good. So for Portland, Felipe Mora is going to get 1, and then off the bench, Cabecita will score in the dying seconds of the second half, because just like he did in last season. And then ultimately for RSL, I'm going to have to see Luna get 1, and then hopefully Gozo gets his first of the season. That's all it's going to take. Gozo and Luna for RSL, Cabecita and Mora for Portland. We are in for a fun 90 minutes. Guys, that is going to be a wrap for our midweek matchday preview against the Portland Timbers. We are in for a fun battle. I cannot wait for the game tonight. We're back at home to prepare our biggest game in midweek. We gotta give it 100%. We gotta give it our all to get 3 points. We need more wins. We need to push for it. We're gonna get it. Let's do it. Like this video. Subscribe if you're new. RSL on top. Yeah. Thanks for watching. We'll see you after.